came to you in 1982 after the highs of that era. We spoke to Peter Wynn recently, and he spoke quite glowingly of your impact on his playing career. When you think of the impact that you would have had for your teammates, is that something that you sought out? Is that something that you put a lot of attention into?
I don't think I was a deep thinker as far as what I could do to help. I could help timing and running and passing and that, but I didn't want to dissect anyone else's game and get in their lug and say, you should be doing this, because I think the coaches were excellent and the players played to their ability every week. I think it's just experience. I said, sometimes you just got to, you might say to a player, you're pushing things a bit too much, just take it easy. The simple fact is I did it myself. Sometimes I overplayed my hand, as Jack would say, like the old poker thing. He said, I think you're overplaying your hand. So you'd pull yourself back a bit and just do the things that you know what you can do well. And and like I said, they're all good players. Like, you're not talking to, Galargan-Bone B-grade side. You're talking about international footballers who know what they're doing,
Speaking of Peter Wynn, we spoke to him recently and he highlighted a moment between the two of you in a 1978 AMCO Cup game. Can you give us your point of view of that moment?
Yes, well, he's a good friend of mine, Peter, but he met his Waterloo that night there when I strayed into the ground, and he said, oh, geez, Bob's playing. This is what he told me. I'm not big note myself here. And we played Illawarra in a semi-final of an AMCO Cup game, and they were strong, played terrific. We got them late in the game. We got them, but I remember when he was a tremendous young bloke and tall, could run like the wind, had good skills, and they made us. And he went to Parramatta, I think the following year. So he's, whatever he did in those games certainly helped his career and that. And but he tried to stop me scoring. I actually scored the winning try that night, and I left him in my wake, sort of more or less. There was a bit of a dead body laying behind me there as I straight over the line, and I didn't know his name was Wally at that stage. I said, bad luck, Pete, and see you in a couple of years.
Now, you dabbled in a little bit of coaching after your playing career finished. What keeps you busy these days, Bob?
Well, I'm in the, put it this way, when I first made $1 out of football, all my mates and all my friends, most of them were all truck drivers, owned trucks, and were brick carters, or concrete block carters. So I started doing that. I was in that for about 10 years, and I've stayed in more or less in the trucking industry since then. I still do it. I'm a bit long in the tooth to be doing it, but I'll just continue on for a little bit longer, then fade into the sunset.
You spoke of Wally. A lot of the other players from the 80s often get together. Do you often see a lot of the players?
Well, they started something. Oh, geez, it'd be going back about 10 years ago, because we'd done some good things. We'd won 4 competitions in 6 years, and nobody had got together and had a beer and talked over it. So we all decided that once a year, if we can get most of the players from the 4 sides that won the competition, I think they counted them up as about 27, 28 players played in all those 4 competitions that we won. So we pick a destination and slip away for 3 or 4 days and talk about old times and generally talk shit, but we get away with it and have a good time. Then wander back to where we live and wait 12 months to do it again. So we'll probably keep doing it until we're all gone and too old to move. So, but it's good. As you see, some of the guys that don't readily name comes to the fore, and see them and see how they're going too is a good thing too. You know, I still wonder why they call hookers hookers. Not one of you'd have to have a 15-foot long leg to touch the ball in the scrum these days, and half the time the hooker feeds the scrum or he plays lock or he plays 5'8". So I prefer to call them dummy halves. I think change the name of a few things. You know, obviously, you know, you can have the fullback in as a hooker in some scrums, and so. But I'm not saying scrums were a blight on the game when you're sitting there feeding them 4 or 5 times before the ball makes an exit some way. So I think overall they could refine it, make it a more exciting, put some players on, you know, do something a bit different than what every club does. Because I think they all play the same, except you've got a really good first or something that can do things with the ball. I've got hopes for them. I think that a good half 5'8" combination is always going to take you a long way in the game. I'm hoping the forwards can stand up to it. The year before last, when Parramatta only had to win 1 game out of the last 2, I thought after that, I said they've got the raw material there to go well. I think they'll, you know, this year I thought they'd make the semi-finals for sure. Anyway, they just, you know, they lost some unlosable games, so I was a bit disappointed in that. But I think with who they've got next year, they've just got, as I said, the right players in the right positions. I think they can do something. I think they're a dead set of top 8 side. And once you get in there, you know, you can jag something, you can do a bit better, you know. They'll do well. Well, I think it's still the best game we can muster together. You know, I can't. Rugby union's a good game, but Aussie rules. But there's nothing like rugby league. It is the best game. There's no doubt about it. You get more personal satisfaction out of playing a game of rugby league, I think. That's why, you know, I can't understand some guys switching codes and wanting to play a game of rugby union or a game of Aussie rules when you're in the game all the time when you play rugby league. There's something happening. You're moving all the time. You're going up and back in defence, or you're backing up in when you've got the football. So I think we've just got to stick. We know we've got the best game. We've got to produce the best players, give them the most opportunity, and I think that the league will go well. And I think Parramatta, I've got great hopes for Parramatta next year. I think they'll be there. They won't be having their holidays in September or October. Yes.
It's been an absolute pleasure chatting to you this morning. Bob O'Reilly, thanks for sitting down with the Cumberland Throw.
Thank you.